My research is about gamification in self-tracking devices and whether this motivated the user to continue to monitor themselves, urge them on to look forward to calculating whether calories, sleep pattern, or monitoring their brain activity. It sits along with other researches on sleep monitoring, anxieties of self-tracking, the human robotic devices and divide, and other researches on biosensing. So basically what my study aimed to do was if there was any relationship between gamification and motivation in the use of self-tracking devices. So gamification basically refers to the idea of using gaming techniques for non-gaming technologies. So the idea of leveling up, the idea of rewards, Boy Scouts and badges, the idea of sharing on social media, the idea of medals, and then compliments is what we refer to as the idea of gamification. When these technologies are used in a non-gaming technology, non-gaming platform, non-gaming engagement, it becomes the idea of gamification. Usually it is employed to motivate the user to continue using or doing a particular activity. So research on gamification shows that gamification basically amplifies the intrinsic value of anything. What it means is that if the user is not interested in a particular activity or engagement, there's very little gamification can do. People should be interested in tracking themselves. People should be interested in tracking their sleep hours. People should be interested in tracking how many steps they've taken daily before gamification amplifies whatever thing that application has to offer. Other researchers attribute the idea of gamification to the sudden rise of tracking devices, making references to Night Plus, and so many other activities, and the fact that once biosensing applications started to crop up, people started to get interested in monitoring themselves in terms of how many hours they've slept, in terms of how many calories they've eaten, in terms of how many steps they've taken, and this brought the idea of gamification to bear. The application I considered was Lumosity, which is basically a brain train application. It monitors your memory, monitors concentration, speed, and then attention to details. It was a very exciting game to play, and I observed myself play it for a period of 14 days. And for me, the statics of the game was one of the things that appealed to me, and one of the things that motivated me to continue playing it, again and again. The game, has a very bright aesthetic appeal. It has a very great auditory components to complement its exciting sounds, and so I feel like, there was other exciting things I discovered during the research, which I may not be able to mention here. Full details of the research can be found in the description box below. The study demonstrated strong user engagement during some of the games played. The mathematical calculation, language assessment, because of the way it was presented in terms of aesthetics, in terms of music, in terms of timing, and the feel of being tested or being examined through a process. I also realized that game design and game technique was very important in encouraging or motivating people to continue to use a particular application or a device, so that if you have one of them, it loses the full experience of gamification. For instance, if you have just the techniques of rewards, techniques of badges, techniques of scores and sharing without that aesthetic appeal in terms of the design, you don't really get the gaming experience, gamification experience, as compared to, so comparing an application like Lumosity to an application like Snake and Xenzia, I'm not sure if I got the name right, or Nokia, and you realize that comparatively you enjoy using Lumosity, because apart from training yourself, there's the color, there's that pleasing sound, of bubbles, bursting once you get the right answer, which was a wonderful experience for me. I realized that the idea of scoring achievements was another way, because you wake up each day trying to beat your previous score, trying to do better than you did before, and this was one of the things that motivated me to do, continue playing. Actually, the game content is one thing. I feel like gamification doesn't really work, as I already pointed out, unless there is a content or a value in the application that whoever is playing is really interested in playing. is really interested in engaging with. So you can't gamify sleep monitoring applications, and then that would guarantee somebody to continue to use it unless they were interested in using the application. The idea of being able to play and then correct your scores too was another thing that encouraged and motivated me to keep on playing. So in Lumosity, when you had results that were not satisfactory, you could better them, you could make them better, even at a particular play.